tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads from over 200 countries and your #1 source in after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
It's Killer Instinct!
Face off!
Thanks for tuning in for a terrifying recap of tonight's Face Off After Show. It's Season 7, Episode 8, Killer Instinct, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Getting extra creepy up in this episode. So, I'm your host, Danica Kennedy. First, I should introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
Joined by the lovely
Aaron, hi.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Of course.
So, kind of funny, you guys, considering Aaron's coming on this episode as a guest host. He's a host at AfterBuzz in general, but we have both worked Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights,
Yes, we
which
have.
is what this episode was all about. Hits home too much.
Yeah, I'm still having nightmares right now.
You're
I'm just
having
thinking about all the
nightmares?
mazes, yeah.
I am such a pussy when I go through those mazes, I have to say. Like, I scream so loud. I get so scared by the makeup that they do. And in this episode, their challenge was to make a makeup that was terrifying enough to be in one of those mazes.
Yeah, they really did it. They were really, all the different looks were amazing. But yeah, Halloween Horror Nights, very, very terrifying. They also make it smell for those particular mazes. That would gross me out too.
I hate that.
Like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre maze.
It smells like beef jerky, but like rotting bodies.
Oh,
but
God.
just not okay in general.
Definitely not. But we also recognize those sets in the background as well, too.
Oh, yeah, we had a little bit, some New York street action from the Universal Studios backlot. I love that they just gave them movie posters, and then they had them create this whole character behind. And I felt like this is one of the episodes that I didn't expect to be super strong, but there were a lot of strong makeups in it.
Yeah, there certainly was. I mean, like, I just couldn't, like, every one was good. I think I felt like it. Even the weaker ones, I still felt like, well, so that was super cool. Either
Still
way.
Great try.
Yeah.
I expected the Alice in Wonderland episode to be really crazy and whimsical, and I kind of expected this one to be not as crazy and whimsical, and they both surprised me.
Yeah, it definitely did. I love it.
I did this shoot for Halloween Horror Nights 2 years ago. I had never been in a maze before, and they hired me. They were like, oh, do you want to do a publicity shoot for NBC Universal and have your face on there? And I was like, of course, that's amazing. They sent me through those mazes by myself with a camera crew with lights blinding me, and then had, some guys pretend to be my boyfriend, and I cut the circulation off their arms. But the makeup is terrifying. It's so gory. And they chose George as the winner this week, and I thought that was a very accurate decision.
Yeah, I felt so too, because I felt like that character would just fit perfectly in there. And then also because those people, they're literally in a warehouse just applying on that makeup, so that way somebody could just go ahead and easily attach it. I feel like if it was something like the Chum Bucket, that would have been too difficult. Yeah.
I loved the Chum Bucket. Was my favorite, though.
It really was.
Siggs was such a crazy character. I felt like it could come to life from a comic book or like a cartoon or something. More
I
his
agree
sleazy
as well.
universe. Yeah, he came on the show a while back, a couple episodes ago, and he has his own sleazy universe, he calls it. And it's a lot of, like, tits and ass and blood and gore, and just loves the blood and gore. And his character this week was just drenched in it, the Chum Bucket sleazy sailor.
And you could tell that he knew what he was doing, because I remember he was saying he was doing that pink underlaying, and then he went ahead and added all the like blood and gore, which it was just amazing.
He just went for the gore, which at Halloween Horror Nights, they don't do it usually that bloody, but I feel like there's just blood everywhere. I see it
pretty
all the
much.
Time, so.
And you know what was funny is that you were talking about that whole little, you did the publicity. I did too. I did it another
Was it terrifying for you, or am I just a huge wimp?
Well, I've always gone to Halloween Horror Nights for all that stuff. Like, I don't know, I enjoy the horror and the gore. But I remember it was the same situation where I had to pretend this girl was my girlfriend. There's actually a picture of me like screaming like a little baby through the Walking Dead maze. It's pretty awful.
They put mine in this promo video where it's me screaming, like, and then it pauses on my face looking horrible, and it said, "Freaks Unite" in bloody letters, like over my face. "Freaks Unite, Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights." So
I feel like now we should go back and do the face-off maze, and
I think we need to.
Yeah, and do the promo for that one.
Oh my
and
gosh!
Over it, face-off.
If we do it, check it out on Vine, because you know that's going to be up there.
Oh my goodness!
It would be crazy.
What were some of the other things that you liked on some of the makeup stuff that was happening today?
Oh my gosh, there was a lot of them were my favorites this week, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
I think George and Sig's were my top favorites.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked Rachel's with like the old age makeup with the stomach that was protruding out, the stomach teeth, and how the model was like wiggling around.
Yeah,
made it really creepy and kind of come to life.
Yeah, it was really, really creepy. I felt like when the concept for that one came out, I thought that one was going to be a lot more like visually stunning. I almost thought she was going to win because it was a really cool idea. But yeah, I don't know. For something like it was really, really cool. I just didn't like. I think I didn't like the dress. I'm gonna look at me. I'm looking at the outfit. I'm like, something about the outfit was just weird to me.
I've talked about that a lot on this show. The makeup artists don't get to choose the costumes. They have to have a PA or someone else go get it, and they try to describe like, oh, I want a coat that's really colorful or whatever, and it's never quite there sometimes. But if you're working on a movie, that's how it's going to be. You know, there's separate people for each department. So sometimes you're going to get screwed over by costuming or by another department, and you're just going to have to deal with it. It was weird because it was an old age makeup, but just very like somber. It wasn't really moving. And I know that old age is like one of the hardest makeups to do, and it's hard to do it right. But since it was, I felt like it didn't look realistic as old age, but it worked because it was such a weird character that's unrealistic anyways, I guess.
Yeah, I completely agree with that one too. Well, I mean, because those three were the top looks essentially. I'm trying to remember the episode.
I agreed with it completely, though, what the judges were saying for most of the characters this week.
Yeah, but I almost think like I feel like Sig still should have won though. I mean, I don't know, the chum bucket was still like we were saying.
We're both big fans of the chum bucket. Well, the thing that was so cool about it for me was the mouth. It wasn't part of the guy's mouth. It was like 3 separate pieces that strung together with that gross slime.
Yeah, exactly.
I could have nightmares about that guy.
Because I think like George's was cool. I mean, I guess we're moving on from that other lady and then to George. His was cool, but it was still, I mean, it fits in Halloween Horror Nights, but it was still kind of like a little more tame. It wasn't as scary as Sig's. I don't know. Sig's was terrifying to me.
Same here. And it was supposed to be what is the scariest.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's an evil ex-girlfriend cutting off the fingers of all these other women that you're going after. Like, she should be mad. You killed her and she was your mistress. Like, she's got a right to be mad, in my opinion. So less terrifying because she wouldn't be coming after me. Chum bucket. He kept calling him the chum bag. I love that. The chum bag was a chum bag.
And then also that selfie that he took midway while everybody was freaking out. And he's like, cheese, chum bucket on his iPad. I love it.
I love that Face Off is also a popularity contest, and they're constantly taking selfies on set and like who can get the most tweets and competing for the money and everything.
By the way, Stella seems to be always the one that's on Twitter. Like that's like everybody loves her. They're like, Stella, Team Stella, and I'm like, wow, look at you.
It kind of fluctuates week to week depending on like which makeup's the best, but she's been like up there. She's very likable though. I'm a big fan of Stella and her makeup.
Me too.
Hers was creepy this week. What did you think of it? It was the trophy hunter. It was the guy with like the cleft palate. Very like, I thought it was creepy, but not like terrifying in a ways, you know?
I feel like maybe it's the reason why she probably didn't like win that competition, like, because it was really, really good. Like,
great makeup.
Yeah, it was great makeup, but it just didn't like stand out because other ones were so unique. You know what I mean? Like the whole with the belly and the teeth in there, and then the girl with like the blown out head, and then the chum bucket. Like
the plot line wasn't there.
Yeah,
the storytelling.
Like, because it was just kind of like a Hills Have Eyes guy with a little head and in his hand.
Yeah. I like when they get really adventurous with the plot. Like, they just see a movie poster. Like, the one with the stomach coming out and the old age makeup. Like, how did she get that from the picture they had for the poster? It's like, you have to be so creative and think outside of the box for this job. And when they're just like, oh, I'm just going to make a deer because it's the deer. No offense, Dina. Love your makeup normally. She kind of tanked this week, but she knew it. I mean, they only have so much time.
I know. I feel so bad for them.
Yeah, I get stressed watching this show for them. I'm like, oh, you know, you're not doing what you want to do, and there's 10 minutes on the clock, so you're like, all right, this is gonna suck.
I have to do this now.
Yeah.
That was the case that she had. Remember, she was just like looking at it like sad, and then like it was almost
she
like
hated the sculpture from the start. She was like, I wish it was a hybrid so it could be an animal or something else. What did the judges say? It looked like it was too.
Well, they said it just wasn't scary
enough. It just didn't look like a deer either. It was too like pig-like or something.
Yeah, they said if it was like without the antlers, it would look like a pig or like some sort of rabbit.
It wasn't scary enough. I mean, for Halloween Horror Nights, I just think of blood and guts. And so I feel like just throw some blood and guts on there. But that's me speaking, not from a makeup artist perspective at all. Because, I mean, George's had, you know, the blow from the back of the head where she specifically got hit. And it wasn't over the top, but it still read very well and was still terrifying and gory.
Yeah, it did. I guess maybe for Dina's, maybe they didn't feel like if they should be like, if they didn't know if they were supposed to be scared or be like, oh, that poor deer is like,
oh, did it get hit by a car? Is it bloody from that?
Is it like
a roadkill?
Is it like a I don't know, a weird hybrid deer or something? Like it was just a weird, yeah. And then the costume, once again, the costume was kind of weird too, but it wasn't as bad as they made it seem.
It was still a good makeup. It just didn't fit the challenge at all.
Yeah.
I think it would if it was more of like a, you know,
creepy Christmas,
foresty kind of creepy Christmas. Yeah, that would be perfect. Poor Sasha this week, homegirl. I freaking Instagrammed earlier. I was like, Face Off fan favorite Sasha. Hopefully the judges are nice because it's her birthday this week. Happy 9/11, guys, coming up. But man, they kicked her off the show, and I was like, oh my gosh, no. I freaked out, and then they saved her.
Yeah, which was fantastic.
And they never do that.
Yeah, I know. But I feel like you still kind of cursed her, though.
I did. I kind of did curse her.
Yeah, because they were like really brutal with her, too. They were like, it's just horrible. You have no understanding of the human anatomy with veins. And remember that Lois Burwell lady? She's like, it's like you've never seen a vein in your life. And I'm like, oh my gosh, give her a break. She's always fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, it was just one little incident. Well, which is why they saved her, which is good, I guess. You know what I mean? Like
I don't even think it was that bad at all. Like, even the vein stuff, and it didn't look like normal veins, but it could have been some weird horror movie where she has, you know, crayon blood or like Kool-Aid squirting out. I don't know. It definitely didn't look like normal veins, and the colors were way off. They were like pastels and fun colors when it should have been like deeper purples and blues, I think. But I think it was a cool character. I think if you put that character with Mr. Chumbucket, and you can make like some really crazy cartoon,
like Freak Show Maze or something like that.
Yeah.
I love
Sasha hated her makeup though, poor thing. I was like, I got really too emotionally invested with that part for sure.
You could see it on her facial expressions too.
Oh, she wears her heart on her sleeve. Like every time she's thinking she's about to be eliminated, you can see it on her face.
She's always doing like weird poses, like like or anything like that. I love it though.
Making weird faces, and then the judges tell her to pull her socks up, and she didn't get that. She was like, "Oh, wait, is that an expression?"
Yeah, she was just like, "Wait, what sock? Oh, that's an expression. Oh yeah, I will pull my socks up." And then what did
And then she came out with a blonde afro at some point. I'm like, well, maybe that's why your makeup wasn't on point this time. You're goofing around with that afro on when you're supposed to be doing your makeup.
Was that when George and then Drew were also putting on all those wigs things, which I was like, this is just fun. I just want to do a little wig party with all of them.
I know. I would hang out with them, the troublemakers, if I was on the show, and I would get kicked off in a second, probably.
Speaking of Drew...
Well, not that I can do makeup at all. I know. Yeah, I'm like, I wouldn't get on the show, first of all. But
if you and I were in this situation, I think I'd probably give up like after the first hour. I'd be
the amount of stress on this show is insane.
They're always stressed out because like the casting's never working. There's always like it's stuck, or it's breaking in half and like it's shredded or something like that. I don't know. I
the
feel
model
bad.
can't wear it. They have allergies. Like there's some hurdle every time. But every time you're actually working on set, that's gonna happen. Like, oh, the model didn't show up today, or
That's
like,
true.
you know, some crazy thing happened. Oh, it's raining outside, you know.
But I always feel like in the sense that because it's a reality show, I'm like, man, they could just get really screwed over just one day. Like they could just get the bad model, and then for some reason life just happens and their thing breaks or something. You know what I mean? And I just feel so bad for them. They're always stressed out, like running around everywhere.
I just can't believe they gave her immunity, though, because even while we were watching it, we're like, okay, Mackenzie, when she randomly turns to the judges and is like, you can give someone immunity.
Yeah,
and we're like, she never says that. That was weird.
I think she was Team Sasha, hashtag.
Yeah.
that's what
Hashtag
was
Team
good.
Sasha, everyone.
I feel like that's what she said under her breath. She's like, you know, you have immunity. Hashtag Team Sasha. Like she just like walked on, like just like.
I hope that's how it went.
Yeah, I really think so because it was just out of nowhere, and I feel like the judges looked at her and were like, "We know Mackenzie."
Man, speaking of hashtags, people are so brutal to the contestants on this show on Twitter, like Sasha and Dina and like everyone. I was just looking on Twitter and I'm like, cyberbullying is awful. Like I actually talked about cyberbullying way too much on our last episode,
Really?
but it's crazy.
Well, like I haven't seen any of the bad tweets.
like,
I've only seen like positive, like you go, or I love this person.
That's what people should post, and that's what I like to post. But a lot of people are like, what were you thinking with this makeup and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, they're trying very hard and they have very small amount of time to make this happen.
I mean, and they're stressed out because not only that they have to think of the ideas and then they have to just construct it all. I would fail. I'd be like, I wouldn't be able to think of, you know, the belly teeth monster. I'd be like, she's old and she just eats people regularly. Like that's scary. I would be pretty horrible.
I immediately
contestant.
was thinking Hannibal, like,
right.
having people over, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like a little Hannibal-y in
Yeah,
a way,
no, yeah,
but
it definitely. But then I guess like you said, like they think out of the box so much that they create these inventive creatures, which makes it so awesome. But yeah, no. I didn't know they did a lot of cyberbullying to those poor contestants.
Oh, well, I had Kaylin in here last week, and she was talking about how people hate her blue eyebrows, and they've been just, like, attacking her for her blue eyebrows. And I'm like, be yourself. Don't worry about those assholes that are bored at home.
But on top of that, that has nothing to do with anything about her work or anything like that. That's so... People are just crazy.
And, well, as a makeup artist, having, like, crazy hair and makeup isn't that weird.
Yeah, it's just...
It's
almost
like part
expected.
of your... Yeah, like, I don't think that's out of the norm at all.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I actually wanted to get into Drew's creepy man.
Yes.
Wasn't that was really scary.
Drew did really well this episode with the first challenge as well, the Bloody Mary.
Oh,
Didn't he win, or he got
No, he was one of like the top favorites.
He was one of the top ones,
like,
and then Rachel was immune.
Yeah, because she had like the bleeding eyes, which I thought was really cool.
And it actually squirted out fluid, like they were crying. It was so creepy.
I love that one. But Rachel's did kick butt. I mean, her little face thing.
Face.
Yeah, the sewn on face thing.
It's creepy because the plot was like that she was stealing other people's faces because she didn't feel pretty and sewing them on, right?
Yeah, and which I thought was super cool because you would immediately think like all these like crazy horrifying creatures that you have to like make something grotesque, but she did something so different. Like she just did a normal human face that was pretty, then like kind of lifted it up and it looked really creepy. It was scarier, like scariest out of all of them. That's what I felt like.
It kind of reminds me of like creepy dolls, how they're pretty, but you just can't stand to look or be around them. You're like, you're too pretty, but I don't like it.
Yeah, you're just too perfect and it freaks me out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did love it. But and then like kind of tying back to that, like then Drew kind of did something similar with his thing because it was a creepy guy, and I was almost thinking like when he was sketching it out, I'm like, well, it doesn't look like they're going to use a lot of makeup.
What was it, guy? The guy you met online?
Yeah, and he had like all the boils.
Oh, that one was probably the creepiest because you know it's actually accurate and to a degree. Like a lot of the, you know, there's no chum bucket man running around, some mutated sailor, but there are sure gross pedophiles hunting online that look disgusting with rotted teeth and nails and boils on their face. And it was just gross enough and just realistic enough to like make me squirm.
That's probably Drew's character is probably based off the people that are like typing away to her blue eyebrows, right? That's probably him. Yeah, I know. We found it.
We figured it out, Kaylin, if you're watching.
Yeah, Kaylin.
Drew's
Sorry,
creepy.
I said Raylan. Like,
it's okay. She's used to having her name butchered. She has a unique one. She has a GH in there. So.
But yeah, so we found the creepy person, Kaylin. It's Drew's character.
Drew's character is the pedophile online that's writing all the mean eyebrow comments. What was your, I hate to say this, but favorite and least favorite personally?
My least favorite, I don't know if I can have a least favorite. I'm kind of looking back at the little list. You know...
Or like your bottom looks.
I mean, unfortunately,
if you were a judge.
If I was a judge, it would be Dina's, like a little ranger one. And then it also, I mean...
Dina and Sasha, you think?
I just like Sasha, that's why. So I just don't want to put her in that, you know. And I guess she was already like, she already put like, she got the immunity. She was on the bottom, so she doesn't deserve that. But the one that I felt like could have been cooler was the where they were lifting the scalp back, the little creepy like barber.
Damien.
Yes.
I loved the idea, but I wanted it to be brainier.
Me too.
Was like a white
because it
thing
was like,
with like blood on it, you know, like just the cap.
Yeah, and it was like his skull. That's what I think that was supposed to be. But I think it would have been cooler if it was like he lifted it up and then he had like brains there. Or I don't know.
We both wanted really more blood and guts from the headpiece, apparently.
Yeah, from the big wimps that are scared of Halloween Horror Nights. We're like, more blood!
More blood and guts!
But I also feel like it looks a little like, I mean, I don't know. I've never seen the underneath of somebody's scalp. But it looks a little fake to me yet. Yeah, that's why.
I mean, I've never scalped anyone personally either, but I agree.
But I don't think it would look like that.
Yeah, I was expecting a little more brain and gush, but apparently, you know, we're not doctors and neither are they.
Yeah, so that's what I would say. I would say Dina. I mean, poor Dina though. I thought it was cool, but yeah, she'd probably be my bottom pick.
Yeah,
one out of all of them. What about yours? Your bottom pick?
I would say Dina and Sasha. Even though I love Sasha so much, I just feel like there were so many other stronger makeups. Not that theirs were so bad necessarily. Yeah. I just felt like this was kind of one of the episodes that really shined for these makeup artists. They're like, yes, we could do the blood and guts and the gore finally, because they've been doing all the like pretty girly stuff and you know, animals and Wonderland and you know.
I feel like Sasha's been holding in and all like relinquishing all her favorite colors. That's why the reason why she added all those. Because remember like the previous episode, Jason was like suppressing her. I mean,
oh yeah, she has to get all the Cheshire Cat colors out now.
Remember she was like Superman. She's like, I just want to do the colors. So I feel like that's what was going on. That just carried on.
I was getting so pissed off when I watched that episode. I was like, you're doing the Cowardly Lion and you are the Cowardly Lion. You realize that.
But I understand her thing where she's like, she doesn't want confrontation. So that's what kind of put her. But like what I think is so cool is that
even awkward to do that.
Yeah, I know. I think I would be in the same situation. Like I think I've been in that situation where you're like, you know, you have the better idea, but you're like, all right, I guess we're just gonna
step down.
We're just gonna do what you're gonna do. But I think it's super cool that even though like she's been in those situations like twice, like her makeup and her technique has shown through to the point where it saved her this week. You know what I mean? I think that's really cool. So it just shows how talented she really is.
And they never do that.
Yeah. I thought they were going to do that for the Vince guy a couple, episodes back.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was going to happen. And they were just like, bye. So they're like,
he didn't seem like he cared though. He was like a little too degaffed to the point where he's like, I'm done way early. I'm just gonna relax. And we're like, what are you doing? Why don't you add some detail?
Can you at least fake it and run around everywhere and sweat? Remember, that's when he was like, I'm just gonna just plan out mentally my plan for tomorrow. And he was just like drinking water in the background. Well, I guess maybe they felt like he won an Academy Award already, so maybe he didn't need to win or something.
It's funny too because we never know how they edit it, because to us, like, he just looked like he did not care at all. Like he's just walking around like, oh, I'm really talented, whatever. And then they show clips of other people, you know, with afros or running around dropping everything. Like, I swear there's some clips where it's like they'll focus on one person just dropping all the bottles and everything. And I'm like, are they actually doing that, or are they just editing it so they just got all the clips of them being clumsy and put them together?
They're like watching them, like they're going to drop something
They're like, this
soon.
will be funny. Let's do this.
So, I mean, maybe even the judges felt that way too, because otherwise they would have saved him, because he did really good work up to that point. I mean, they ended up saving Sasha. So, I mean, it's just interesting. I wonder what really like pulled him. I mean, she's talented, she does fantastic work, but I mean, we really didn't see like the real reason why they decided, because it's a one-time immunity, right?
They were and they were really mean to her makeup.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of surprised. I mean, she's delivered excellent quality work the rest of the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, even saying that, in the second episode, she had the rat one where, once again, she didn't speak up and her partner kind of sunk the ship that she was on. And she was like, my mom's cool. Yeah. And then the Cowardly Lion came along and she's like, oh, I didn't speak up again, but I would have done this. And I think they know she's really talented and not as confident as they want her to be. Yeah,
so it's like a gut thing. They just know. So that's why they wanted to save her.
We need to see what she's doing in the upcoming episodes.
Oh, well, I'm excited to see what she actually comes up with, because she promised.
I am too.
She said she was going to pull her socks up.
Yeah, once she understood the saying, the expression.
That's definitely what she's going to do.
I hope she wears long socks in the next episode. That would be ridiculous.
That would be pretty hilarious. I hope so, too.
Well, if you guys are watching this show right now, you're probably pretty into doing your makeup, dressing up, looking fabulous, taking care of that beautiful face. If so, you should definitely check out Birchbox. And what it is, you could just check it out online. And you subscribe for $10 a month, and you make this little profile, and they'll send you a goodie basket box every month with all these different beauty supplies that you would like, different makeups, moisturizers. And if you put AFTERBUZZ TV as the promo code on the website, you'll get $10 off. You'll get some points, and it is about a month's worth of stuff free. So be sure to check it out. And I'm sure you guys wear makeup if you're watching this show, or you're at least interested in it. And so check it out. Also, while you're on the computer, you might as well just go over to iTunes and check us out, because we're there too. You just check out AfterBuzz TV. We have a ton of different shows here. Obviously, you're going to want to look up Face Off and subscribe to our podcast. Leave us some nice comments, rate us, give us some 5 stars. That would be absolutely fabulous.
Por favor.
Yes, por favor. Por favor. Sounds like my Spanish. That's about the extent of it.
I kind of want to just sign up for that, just to get gifts every so often.
Is there like an extra promo code if you host after?
Oh my goodness.
Gotta look good on camera, right, guys? Everyone on iTunes is like, we don't think so. We're just listening to you. We don't know what you look like.
Oh my goodness.
Do you have any predictions, considering the immunity that has been granted this week?
Ooh, and then we got theme music.
And now, you're AfterBuzz TV.
I feel like we should do antennas.
Some alien.
Yeah, some life force has been coming down.
Gotta have the prediction come to you, crystal ball.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, it's so tough now because everybody's so talented.
It gets better when you get closer to the end.
I know, because you're just
you
like,
get attached to them.
Who is it going to be? I don't know. I'm a little scared for Dina. That's what I'm.
I am too.
Because she's a little, she's like unsure about like all the stuff that she like, she's been doing, and she like, I feel like every time she's done like starting a little sculpture or something, she's like, I've never really done this before, but here I go, and like it works. See, like with the whole vein thing, like last time when she created that like that lovely like tree creature, like that woodland fairy. But yeah, I'm just scared like she's gonna just doubt herself and then like shoot herself in the foot, She's
very like, I'm a cake decorator and I'm new to this, and I'm kind of like, we know that you're a cake decorator, but you're such a good makeup artist. Just embrace that you're a makeup artist now, because
just own it.
Yeah, own it. You are a makeup artist now. If you're on Face Off, you're a makeup artist. That's what I think. But Dina and Sasha, who I was considering the lowest, both of them, it's not their work, it's their confidence.
Yeah.
It's not the art itself ever. It's them doubting themselves.
Exactly. And I feel like the people that are like most successful, like Sig, they're just like, they just are like, I'm gonna do this and it's gonna be crazy, and
he's like, I think it looks great, I love it.
Yeah, and they're just like promoting themselves and amping themselves up. Like I was looking at that chum bucket creature, and I was thinking like, that looks like it's gonna be impossible to pull off, but he just went into it with such a good like head on his shoulders that he did it.
Speaking of heads on our shoulders, we didn't even talk about Kaylin's and the backward back.
Oh, we didn't.
Gotta jump back there for one sec. I loved the idea, but she just got screwed over in the end, basically, with the sash and didn't have enough time. The boobs on the back didn't work out as planned.
It didn't work at all. I don't know. It was just, and the dress too was kind of weird. It just the whole thing was just
a little strange.
Yeah,
but I think she's gonna be doing well, like in the next episode or two. She's been strong. She's been pretty strong so far. I mean, not like, none of them have been like, I'm the strongest, but I think she's gonna do well the next few episodes. I'm worried most probably about Dina as well.
Yeah, Dina, I think so too. Who do you think might like be on top next week?
I think that George and Sig have both been shining pretty brightly recently.
Yeah.
And sometimes it goes in waves. They have good weeks, bad weeks, so it's really hard to predict on this show. But I'm excited to see what they have to come up with next week. I think that they've been doing pretty well, and I think they're going to go far.
I completely agree with that. You're not allowed to post Instagram photos and put hashtag Team George because you're going to sink them. No, you're going to jinx them like you did Sasha. No,
I know. I'm jinxing everyone. Fan favorites. I'm just trying to win my faves some money. What I would want if I was on the show, I'd be like, tweet me all the time, please.
Poor favor.
Exactly. Do you have any more predictions?
No, I think those are going to be the bottom two, and I kind of agree. I agree with you that like Sig and George are probably going to be on top. Maybe George. I think George might be the one, like just going to be nailing it next week.
I am excited to find out. There's only a few more episodes left, and only it was going to be 8 contestants, but they saved Sasha, so it was still 9. Continuing for the 3rd week since the judges was last week. But bottom 9, it's getting awfully close and more interesting each time, I believe.
I'm going to be sweating next episode.
Oh my gosh. The panic will ensue. Well, thank you so much for watching our after show. Where can they find you online?
They can find me on Instagram at AAMO9013. Definitely.
And you guys can find me online on Facebook.com/Danica M. Kennedy and on Instagram and Twitter at Danica Kennedy. Thanks for watching.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.